I'm really excited to be teaching this one because the fact that I'm just in pre-production now, everything has all been about what's this going to cost, how long is it going to take, and all, and you realize there is that reality of you writing your script, but then you've got to get it made, and that's our goal, to make it. And with these low budget techniques or low budget films, I mean, there's thousands of things. Obviously, we can't go through all of them, so I'm just going to pick up on a few key areas and some of the really big things that will make a massive difference on what your screenplay is going to cost to produce. So just as an overview and context, most films around the world are actually made for under $10 million. It's only a handful of industries that are making films that are, when you're getting up into your 50, 60, 100, 300 million, it's really only a few places that can finance that. And what we see on the cinema screens is a very small amount of what's made. So the majority of the films are for under 10 million, many are under $5 million, and a lot of films are under $1 million. So the average budget for European films last year came in at $2.2 million per production. And they have some industries there. Germany and France and Italy also do make some of the more expensive end of the spectrum, getting up around that 8 to 10 million. And the fact that it's 2.2 is their average means there's a lot below that. Then there's micro budget films that are made for a couple of $100,000. And then you get what's called no budget films, which are made for sort of 50,000 or less. And there's literally hundreds of thousands of those made every year across the world. So I'm not going to be focusing on how to make your micro budget really, really cheap film. What I'm going to be covering is just some principles on how to keep your budget affordable, and in particular, not to spend money needlessly. So you're not going to be writing stuff that you go, that's just a lot of money being spent on an idea or a scene that's not going to actually work for the budget. Or worse so, the kind of thing where a producer reads it and says, no, I'm not interested for that reason. And when a producer's reading a screenplay, they've got a few things in mind, but predominantly their first thing they're going is, do I care enough about this story to commit 5 to 10 years of my life? Do I think there's an audience for this story? And can I find the money to make it? So some producers might read a screenplay and go, this is magnificent, but it's going to cost 12 million and I can't raise $12 million, so they'll pass it on to someone else. So because most producers can't raise tens of millions of dollars. And the other reason to be looking at how you can write, a low budget film is it's a really good entry into the industry. So you do your first project, that gets up, you get that credibility, then you can get more ambitious with your next one. Okay, so that's sort of the overview. I'm going to just go into a couple of the points of those key areas you want to be looking at with your lower budget films. So the first thing is the premise of your film. So this can be really crucial in determining your budget. And there's been lots of great low budget films that have spawned from a contained idea. And Alfred Hitchcock was really big on this. So even when he was making all these films with his stars and North by Northwest, these big budget films, in between he would do these smaller films, and they're always a contained concept. So Rear Window is the classic example. It's a guy sitting in his apartment watching people out through the rear window. He also did the film Lifeboat. It's 7, 8 people stuck on a lifeboat. That's it. As for other, with the concept of 12 Angry Men, if anybody's seen that, the classic Sidney Lumet film. So it's 12 guys in a jury room for 2 hours. My Dinner with Andre, which is another really interesting little film. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's a little bit kind of boring for me. But it's 2 guys having dinner at a restaurant. So that premise is just really contained, and you can see how that can be done on a lower budget. Another film that came out, it was a little while ago, but Once, which was this Irish indie film, and it's about 2 buskers writing a song. And it was very effective. The song actually ended up winning the Oscar, and the film really launched their career. But if you go back and watch it, it's very basic and stripped back.